Sawadee ka, welcome to Hat Yai Kitchen. So I come from a town in southern Thailand called Hat Yai, which is famous for our fried chicken. Now I have had fried chicken from all over the world, and still to this day, I believe that Hat Yai fried chicken is the best ever. It's so good that it's now made all over the country, and Lay's Thailand even came out with a Hat Yai fried chicken flavored chips, so you know it's gotta be good. Now, I know that some of you are already writing in the comments telling me about some other chicken that you think is better, but I am here to prove my case, and I'm gonna show you 3 reasons why Hat Yai fried chicken, or I'm gonna call them Thai fried chicken because it's all over the country now, is the best. And of course, I'll show you how to make it so you can experience it for yourself and know that I'm right. Let's get started. Let's make the marinade. This is the #1 reason why this chicken is so amazing. This combination of ingredients is unique and unlike any other chicken marinade I've ever had, and it's magical. Starting with white peppercorns. You can use black or a combination of black and white. I'm gonna grind that up. Once that's fine, I'm gonna follow it up with garlic and cilantro stems, but use cilantro roots if you can get them. And I'm gonna get that into a fine paste. Okay. Oh, that smells like Thai food already. And these 3 ingredients are what we call samglew, or 3 friends, and it's the base of so many meat marinades. Now, the secret ingredient might be a little unexpected. Sugar. The sweet-salty combo is what makes this so addictive. It's the reason why caramel and cheese popcorn is so addictive, you know what I mean? And it's gonna be subtle, but it makes all the difference. And I like to grind the sugar into the herb paste like this, which helps break the herbs down further. Now the main seasoning, soy sauce. And for a truly authentic taste, you wanna use Thai soy sauce, and of course a little bit of fish sauce. What makes this marinade even better is that it's not just a marinade, it's also a brine. I'm gonna add a whole bunch of water, and this excess water is gonna get absorbed into the chicken, making it juicy, but it's also gonna bring along the salt and the sugar, which means this chicken is going to be flavorful all the way through, not just outside on the crust. Now the chicken. I am only using drums, thighs, and wings, not breasts, because let's face it, that's like the worst part of the chicken. And also in Thailand, a lot of fried chicken vendors don't sell fried chicken breasts for that reason. Now I'm gonna show you a trick for prepping the chicken that I learned by watching a fried chicken vendor. For the drums, I'm gonna give it a score on the thickest part of the drum, and that'll help the marinade penetrate and also help it cook faster because this is super thick. It'll take a long time, especially these North American chickens. They are enormous. I'm gonna do one on each side. And that's it. Now, the thighs, you want to trim off any excess skin if there is any hanging. Also, I want to make a couple of score marks beside the bone because that's where the meat is the thickest, and this part takes forever to cook. So by evening it out a little bit, it will cook faster. And this piece of skin, I'm just going to get rid of it because it'll just sort of float off and get in the way. There you go. That right there will save you a lot of trouble. If you end up with one of these massive factory farmed American chicken thighs, what you can do is just trim it off a little bit, make it physically smaller, and then fry that piece off as a snack, because if you fry the whole thing, that would take a super long time. All right, so these just go into a mixing bowl and pour the marinade over the chicken. And that's it. It's super easy. You need at least 4 hours of marinating time to give it enough time for the brine to really penetrate through. I like to do it the day before just to make it easy on myself, but you do want to come back and give it a flip halfway through to make sure everything is evenly distributed. So here's a chicken that I marinated yesterday. Now I like to bring it out at least 30 minutes before cooking so they're not so cold and they won't take so long to cook. So while you are waiting for your chicken to come to room temp, you should be making the 2nd reason why Hat Yai fried chicken is the best in the world, and that is the fried shallots. So this is what makes Hat Yai fried chicken unique to this town. The spices and the recipe for the marinade can vary from vendor to vendor, but everybody serves theirs with fried shallots. These crispy, sweet, magical flavor flakes take it to the next level. Now, you can buy these pre-made from the store, but they can be a little stale. So what I recommend is bake them again in a 300-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 5 minutes. That'll freshen them, get them crispier, and so much better than straight out of the bag. Just trust me, that is my secret, okay? But if you want to make them, it's not hard. Thinly and evenly sliced shallots. Take your time here. You want to make these as even as possible. And toss them with a pinch of salt. The salt seasons them and draws out some moisture, which will make them crisp up faster. After about 10 minutes, spread them out onto paper towel and pat them dry. In the same oil that you will use to fry the chicken, add a piece of shallot and turn the heat on high and keep an eye on it. Once that test piece has a constant stream of bubbles coming out, turn the heat down to low and then add the rest of the shallots. Keep stirring them and frying them gently on low until they are golden and the bubbling has mostly subsided. They will darken even more after they come out of the oil, so keep that in mind. Take them out sooner than you think. Drain them, spread them onto paper towel to absorb excess oil, and that is it. I want to take a quick break and tell you about these high-protein instant noodles. You heard that right. This is Immi, and they are sponsoring this video. Now, Thai people, myself included, love our instant noodles, but they don't really keep you full and they don't really feel like a full meal unless they add meat and vegetables to it. Well, Immi is different. With 21 grams of protein, 18 grams of fiber, and only 6 grams of net carbs, this is a solid meal, not to mention 35% less sodium than their competitors. It takes 7 minutes to cook, and yes, you can microwave them, and they come in 3 different flavors, all of which are 100% plant-based. I like to jazz mine up with some fried shallots, sweet corn, cilantro, and a little splash of my secret weapon. But I encourage you to experiment with your own toppings or just enjoy it as is. You can tell they use high quality ingredients because it just tastes cleaner and I feel good and full for hours after eating them. And hey, if you try it and you don't like it, Immi has a 100% happiness guarantee and they will refund you within 30 days of purchase. So click the link below and use the code Pailin to take $5 off your order. That is immieats.com/Pailin and use the code Pailin to take $5 off. The last reason why these are the best fried chicken in the world is the crust. Now, these don't have the chunky, craggly crust like American fried chicken, which I will argue is more about the crust than it is about the chicken. But because this chicken is so good, you want the chicken to be the star and the crust is just there to enhance it, okay? And it makes it even easier because all we need to do is add some rice flour right into the marinade/brine. Starting with about half a cup first, and then give it a mix. See, no dredging, no taking chicken out of the marinade. I mean, this is better and easier. This is a little thin, so I'm gonna add a little bit more so I get more of a coating. Using your hands to mix would make this easier. So if you don't mind getting dirty, go for it. All right, so this is the texture that we're looking for. See how it's sort of thinly, but it's quite thoroughly coating the chicken? That's what we want. And think about this. The marinade is the batter, so you can imagine how flavorful that crust is going to be. Now, for the oil, I'm heating it up to about 375 Fahrenheit, and when we put the chicken in, the temperature is going to drop to about 300, and that's where we're going to maintain it. Time to fry. Too much talking. Here we go. Okay, I'm keeping the heat sort of medium-low and I'm just monitoring the the temperature so that it's gonna sort of linger at about 300. So in the first minute or so, it's just gonna continue to drop. It's not dropping that much. So you know what? We're frying these low temp-ish because these are big chicken, right? And the marinade has sugar in it. So if you're frying it at high temp, they're gonna burn before they have time to cook through. And the oil doesn't need to completely submerge everything. We can come and give these a flip every so often. We are frying these until they reach an internal temperature of 175 Fahrenheit. That may be higher than you think because 165 is when it's safe to eat, but with dark meat, if you take it only to 165, the meat will sort of still cling onto the bone a little bit and it might still look a little pink, which freaks people out. At 175 and higher, the meat actually releases cleanly from the bones, become more tender, and it's just better overall, okay? Look at these. Oh my God, they look perfect. Nice. And if you're wondering what all that sound is, that's the sound of the juice of the chicken that came out when I poked it to take a temperature, because our chicken is extra juicy, remember? Yeah. Look at this gloriousness and listen to this. It's a thin crust, but it's a crisp crust, and rice flour crisps up beautifully, and it's lighter than an all-purpose flour, and that's why we use it, and it makes it gluten-free for all your gluten-free friends. Let's put it all together. I'm gonna take a piece of chicken, drumsticks, my childhood favorite. Some sticky rice is absolutely a classic. You don't have to have it. I mean, the chicken is pretty darn good with or without sticky rice, but if you wanted to serve it authentically Thai style, man, sticky rice is the way to go. And then the fried shallots, you can put on the chicken, but I like to put on the sticky rice. All right, here we go. I'm so excited. Oh my God, it's so juicy, it's dripping. It's literally, you see this? It's literally dripping juiciness. I cannot explain to you the difference that brining makes. And you can apply that technique to any fried chicken that you make, okay? If you don't make Hat Yai fried chicken, make whatever chicken, but brine it instead of just marinate, and it makes all the difference. Oh my God. It's just light and crisp, and the meat is so flavorful. You can follow it up with the fried shallots. And it just adds that sweetness and crunchiness. Stop the show. I am done. I really stand by this. This is the best fried chicken you will ever have. And if you want to prove me wrong, you just have to make it and then tell me that I'm wrong, because you're going to be blown away if you do it properly. Don't not follow the recipe and then tell me that it's not good, okay? We're just going to put it right there because you know who you are. Make it, see for yourself, and let me know. The recipe, as always, will be on hatthaikitchen.com. A special thanks to all of our Patreon supporters who help support the show. And if you want to know more about that, I'll put the link in the description below. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time for your next delicious Thai meal.